On June 5th, Stephanie Meyer released a book called The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner. This book is a novella of the novel Eclipse, which is a movie that came out about a week ago. So, naturally, like any other Twilight fan, I picked up a copy at Borders, and it's pretty short. It's pretty, I read it in a couple of hours. Funny story. So the power was out one night because of a storm, and then I couldn't sleep just because I'm nocturnal, basically. Like, I'm just a nocturnal person. Anyways, so I had this lying around in my pile of books to read, because I always have a pile of freaking books to read. And I picked it up, and I was like, I'm going to read a book. And I was like, oh, I have to read that anyway, because Eclipse is coming out soon. The only problem was there was no power, and it was like 1 in the morning. So I had this little book light that has a clamp on it, and I was such a nerd. It didn't go on the book correctly because it's supposed to be a camping light, but I use it as a book light. So I clipped it to like my ponytail, and I read it I had like a spelunker kind of hat going on. So I just sat there reading there, and I wish I had a camera so I could like show you how much of a nerd I look like. But this is besides the point. I just wanted to point out that I read this oddly. So, if you're not a crazy Twilight fan, you probably didn't know who Bree Tanner was. You probably thought Stephanie Meyer just made another book about another person. Why is this book so small? If it was another person, it would not be this small. It's actually kind of weird to feel a Stephanie Meyer book this small and not like an encyclopedia. Bree Tanner is the newborn vampire that surrenders during the vampire war because she doesn't want to fight. So Carlisle offers her the chance to like join their family, and like, as long as she surrenders, they'll teach her the ways, and they won't kill her basically. But when the Volturi intercept and come full circle, and they realize Bree Tanner is still alive, and they're not having that, and they kill her. It's a very short scene in Eclipse. Most people just like, the only reason Bree Tanner was in Eclipse in the first place was because it served as a mirror to Bella's thoughts. That's how she would look like as a newborn. Or am I going to be that hungry and thirsty and crazy? That's why Bree Tanner was probably in the book. That is my opinion, and I'm pretty sure it's right. I mean, can you think of any other reason? So, it made sense that a character doesn't always stay where you put them, and you start thinking of what else. This character had a life before she was changed. This character went through stuff while she was changed, and I'm actually very happy Stephanie Meyer wrote this book, because it shows you what they all went through and what happened in Seattle. Like, it couldn't have been easy for the newborns. The pain must have sucked, and being in those conditions must have sucked. It must have sucked. You don't really give them a second thought, but like anger or resentment, or just kill them all when you're reading Eclipse. So it's nice to have. So the story of Bree Tanner revolves around this girl who is 15 years old, and she ran away from home, I think, I'm pretty sure she ran away from home. And she was living on the streets, and then Riley found her, and obviously because it wouldn't be Riley found her and brought her to Victoria to be changed, and then the story kicks off as she's a vampire. That was the one thing I was kind of upset about, because I really wanted to. When I first heard about this book, I thought, oh, it's gonna be like this human girl, and she's gonna make a mistake and go to a dark alley, and she's gonna be changed into a newborn, and you're gonna have to read about what happened and how Victoria was. And I was actually really excited for it. I was excited for her to go through pain, because I just wanted to know what like Victoria was saying to her and stuff like that. But of course they wouldn't remember it because they're in so much pain. But still, it didn't happen though. It kicks off like when she's hunting for humans, and it has even this book has side characters such as Diego and Fred. Diego was a friend / almost romantic interest brewing there, and Fred was just a friend. a shield she could hide behind, because the newborns fought with each other. The newborns fight with each other, and she did not feel safe without Fred, because no one went to Fred, because he had a vampire power to be repulsive to other people. So his repulsion repelled people away from his couch. It's refreshing. It's funny because I guess Riley and Victoria must have told them that they don't sparkle. They thought they literally burned. That's nice. That was when I read that. I was like, you can go out in the daytime, sweetie. You're just gonna sparkle. This book wasn't really exactly what I expected, but it was still nice to know another backstory, and it goes all the way up to when she perishes, or when she gets murdered again. But it shows. Oh, it has this story that I'm lying to you. Like, there's a lot of times where, like, I read over some things and I was just like, oh, whatever. But then when it comes back, it hits you in the face. Like, why did you read over that and not freak out before? There was definitely signs. I don't want to spoiler. Victoria is in this book, and Bree and her friend Diego go and basically follow Riley, because Riley is being kind of iffy around them. He's their leader and all sorts, and they're all trapped in basements of different houses, and they are not allowed to go out unless they are feeding a couple days a week, stuff like that. So Bree and Diego go to follow him, and they find Victoria's house, and spoiler alert, they get a visit from the Volturi. And the only reason Alice could see Victoria's decision of coming to Forks is because the Volturi, Jane, and of all people, well, duh, Jane made her decide and say, you need to go now, blah, blah, blah. And basically, Jane is very jealous of Alice and Edward. Unlike Aro, she does not want them to join the Volturi. She will be of lesser value to Aro than if Edward and Alice come back up. She won't be the number one girl. So she's jealous. She obviously wants to protect herself. You're the most powerful one of them. I mean, you could put people through torture and, enjoy it. I mean, she's twisted, but in her way, I totally understand. Jane and, her group pay a visit to Victoria and Riley when they are in their cabin together. And basically, what I've gathered is Victoria must have cleared it with the Volturi that she's going to do this. She gets Bella, and the Volturi get the Cullen clan disintegrated and maybe keep Edward and Alice. That was the original plan. That's why the Volturi consented to them growing a huge army. And the Volturi get the Cullen clan disintegrated and maybe keep Edward and Alice. That was the original plan. That's why the Volturi consented to them growing a huge army. Bree, she still dies. Everyone knows she dies. So, she does have a chance to tell Edward that the Volturi are behind it. I didn't expect that, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. I was like, yeah, no wonder he's mad at the Volturi. So, overall, I really like this book. I mean, if you're not a Twilight fan, you're not going to like this book. You're going to find any way to hate on it. You're going to be like, oh, Stephanie Meyer's just trying to get money. Or, if you're not a Twilight fan, you don't have to read it. I mean, if you're a Twilight fan, it's definitely nice to have. And Stephanie Meyer did have it on her website for free to read, but I don't know the deadline or that. I don't know it. But it's nice to have a copy of it, because it's a novella, it goes with the saga. So I'd read it if you haven't read it because you think you don't want to spend the money, or you don't think it's worth it to just read about a side character. I mean, she does pack a lot of stuff into it, and how newborns live. You have a first-hand look of how newborns live and how vicious they are. It's nice to have. That's what I'm going to give the review. It's nice to have.